art
to
too.
remain sane,
Yeah.
I have to have a creative outlet, and that creative outlet is Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell. Mad Science Print Lab. Skate punk, printers, awesome people. Mad Science, how'd it start?
Tim and I both were printing our own shirts
Yeah.
at the time. We both had a small website. Mine was called deviousclothing.com. Tim's was called therevengeclub.com. We basically just printed shirts for ourselves, just making cool stuff that we thought was cool. I worked in the bar scene in the city, so did Tim, both bartending, and I started promoting for one of the guys that was big in the bar scene. He also had a boutique too, so during the day, when we weren't working at the bars, I used to work at the store, so I became a buyer for the store. We'd go to Magic and stuff like that. And I'm like, I could see all this stuff that people were. Now, mind you, this is back in 2008 when Ed Hardy and $150 T-shirts were like a thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
With the norm. So I'd see the stuff that they were buying at Magic. I'm like, I could make some of this stuff. And I'm like, I know enough people to the point where I can start making some of this stuff and people would wear it. So working in the bar scene, obviously people want to wear what's cool. So I was kind of setting the trend of what I thought was cool based on what I'm seeing in California, stuff like that in New York. So I started making tees with like rhinestone studs, just hand sewn patches and stuff on them. And that's basically where I got started. I was printing in my basement. I was printing the shop basement. So I got to the point where I was making shirts in the basement for the store upstairs. So rather than ordering stuff and putting it up, I'd be printing shirts, literally taking them upstairs, putting a tag on it and putting it up. At that time, that was when higher end clothing was popular. That kind of went by the wayside a couple years later. So he closed the store and he just concentrated more on doing the bar stuff, which is fine. I still needed a place to print my own stuff. So my buddy who has the space upstairs had this space, and I was like, hey, do you have a little bit of room for me? I just need a small place for my press, heat press, sewing machine. And he's like, yeah, for sure. So we started doing it. He kind of he's a pro rollerblader. He was in California for a while doing stuff. So he stopped showing up, and I was getting stuck with all the rent. So I'm like, all right, well, we got to do something else here. So Tim, who was printing his own shirts and also working at night in the bars, I was like, hey, you want to come in and maybe we could combine efforts and print our stuff in the same building? He's like, yeah, for sure. So we started doing that, and then we got to the point where we were bartending and people at all the bars and stuff were like, hey, we need some shirts printed. You want to do them? I'm like, okay. I mean, it pays the bills, I guess.
Right.
We were working all night, and then we'd sleep a couple hours, come here and work on orders. It was just getting insane. Yeah. So we're like, all right, well, we need to take the first step of not doing this anymore. So I immediately walked away from it. I mean, you go from a business where you're making $500 cash a night, killing yourself, working until 6 in the morning.
How was it actually hard, or was it one of the things where you're like, doesn't matter, I got to do what I got to do? Yeah.
I hated it at first. I was so used to having cash money in my pocket all the time. And being able to buy anything you want because I didn't have a ton of bills and I was bartending, And most of the time, I was working my nights away, so I'd sleep most of the day. So I didn't have anything to spend my money on. I was saving money like crazy when I was a kid. And then, we got to the point where I hated going out. And to this day, I don't go out anymore. I can't stand it. 10 years later, I can't believe that I used to do that all the time. And these guys are still doing it. Same thing, they're still doing it 10 years later. In their late 30s, drinking every night, staying up till 6 in the morning. It got really good, and to the point where we're like, all right, we're going to stop working the bar scene. We're just going to continue to screen print, and we're going to go from there. And we did that, 2013. Okay. And ever since, it's all we're doing. It took him a little bit longer to walk away from it.
Okay.
Yeah, he was still doing it on Saturdays and stuff like that. I'd go see him.
Got it.
It was a good time, but...
Rub it in his face, you weren't working?
Yeah, but, here we are. We expanded, I don't know how many times in the last 10 years.
Yeah. So now you guys have one auto, 2 manuals, screen stretching. All the art stuff you're doing. Looks like you're getting into posters now, too. So... Yeah.
And I wouldn't want it any other way besides the way we have it now.
Yeah.
I just want it to keep growing, obviously, but we go through our growing pains. Get big a little bit faster than you think, and then you start worrying about the next step, which is where we're at now.
Well, and you are also one of the only actual print shops in the trendier part of Chicagoland, in like the Logan, Wicker area.
Yep.
It's called smaller boutique storefronts that are doing like heat press stuff.
Right.
But in this actual area, this close to where you're at,
Right.
I don't know of any, and I go to a lot of shops.
10 years
I mean,
ago, this was horrible.
Oh, yeah.
Horrible. I mean, I just had my car broken into. We'd be here at night because we worked at night.
Mhm.
On our days off, our normal hours were bar hours. So we'd get here at 8 o'clock, stay till 4 in the morning. We'd have music jamming, DJs here hanging out, playing while we're printing, and we'd have cars broken
a decade ago, this was a very different neighborhood.
Yeah.
Very different neighborhood.
It was horrible.
Yeah.
Now it's, I mean,
But now you get to like the quintessential badass skate punk rock and roll cool print shop.
right. And that's why people like coming here. We have customers that'll come in that aren't even picking up an order that'll be here for 5 hours. To come hang out. They'll come here and skate or, hang out.
I walked in and got on a skateboard. I'm like, I don't know what this is. I'm getting on it. Like that's half the appeal here. Absolutely.
And that's what's cool. Like a lot of the people, especially people that are doing custom clothing lines and branding themselves, streetwear lines, they come in here like, this is cool. I like this. You go to some other, I don't want to mention any names, but you go to a lot of other stuffy shops and people just don't want to be there.
This place has character. It's got an actual vibe to it, and it's real. And you guys do badass printing too. A lot of water-based stuff. You guys were early adopters to water-based printing. A lot of your stuff is still water-based.
The reason, one of the main reasons, oddly enough, one of the main reasons we did a lot of water-based discharge is because we were all manual shop, and having to do underbases on everything sucked. Manually, it sucked. They're printing white on everything manually. Big orders, it was just a pain in the ass. So we got to the point where we had to adapt to water-based because A, it looked cooler at the time, it was a trendier thing to do, and because it was easier for us.
Mm-hmm.
People thought it was an upgrade, which you charge more for. We actually charged less for it because it was easier for us.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, your manpower and your hours are what's most important.
Do you want to give us a quick little walkthrough of your awesome shop?
A lot of this stuff is just kind of staging space. We have a lot of stuff staged for like a lot of the events that we do. That's all, most of the stuff back there.
What kind of events do you guys do?
We do a lot of festivals and stuff like that. Street festivals during the summertime. I mean, we usually, one thing that's cool about that is because a lot of these other people that we're printing for that have booths there, they actually have to make what they think is going to work. We could actually print what we want to use for that show.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? These people will print something for the whole summer, and then that shirt might not be good for the next event. So we'll print what we need for each event rather than having a full-on, production line that you're going to use for the whole summer. We can tailor it to the event. Do some sewing and stuff like that. So it's like a sewing station. We actually have a shipping station set up for one of our customers who we do a lot of contract work for. He basically has his own station here because he does so much work with us.
Awesome.
So they pack and print and ship their own stuff.
Good product using here. T&J missed it.
It's the best.
T&J.
I was running a lot right now. What are you working on, buddy? Discharge? One thing that I do wish, M&R are the best machines ever, and I don't want to say anything against M&R. I wish we bought a bigger press. That's the only thing I can say.
So 8, 10, you wish you would have gone 10, 12 or something?
Bigger than that.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Because you
got
quickly.
the room for it over there.
Oh yeah, I know. You want to give me the money? No. So this works fine for I'd say 80% of the jobs that we do, but it doesn't give us the ability to expand on this press. The footprint's great because it's smaller, but we definitely could have used a bigger press on several occasions. We've had to pass off on some stuff just because of print size, and you can only do as much as you can. And just the ability because of the airheads rather than electric heads, with being able to set up the travel, essentially, which you can't do. Sportsman has a lot more accessibility for us to change things that we can't do on this. Other than that, M&R is awesome.
Yeah. You want to show us your awesome office space too?
As far as
Upstairs?
Sure.
Where's my... Sorry.
We just have a showroom of some of the stuff that we've done. I fish a lot, so this is one thing I thought was really cool.
Oh wow.
Full cut and sew jerseys.
That's
Chicago
awesome.
Stars. So this is one thing that we're really starting to offer because especially in this particular area, performance stuff, everyone wants stuff that no one else has.
Absolutely.
And there's only so many performance items that are available.
I saw this on you guys' gram and was blown away.
So that's another thing. So we've had a ton of customers ask us about different colorways for pocket tees and stuff like that. So we got to the same point of being able to print the shirts first, obviously, discharge, and then we'd actually molded it off the Bella Canvas pocket size, and we actually just print the pockets and have them cut and sewn. We do a 100-piece minimum on them, and everyone loves them.
Absolutely.
They've restocked this shirt 3 times already. They do 100 at a time. And this is a normal, it's called Six Clothing. They're from Chicago. They're good guys.
Awesome.
Six Clothing, shout them out. They do a ton of work with us. prints on.
Has there been a print that's been like your favorite over the last couple years?
That one's one of my favorite prints right there, actually.
Which one?
It's 4-color process. The customer had it was a watercolor. And we actually did it. That's 4-color process. Everyone thinks it's DTG, but it's not.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And it's water-based.
Yep.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And the customer just wanted to make it look like an old gym shirt.
And you've been doing it for, that's 8 years old.
Yeah, 8 years ago.
So everybody else is just now getting on this water-based trend.
I mean, everyone wants to distress a shirt and make it look cool. It doesn't work unless you do it in water-based.
Right.
Otherwise, it just looks like a cracked plastic shirt.
Yep.
Exactly.
Agreed. This is all of Mad Science was up here at first, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, that wall has gone up and down about 3 times. So we knocked that wall down, that partial wall where the slider is, and we had 2 manuals back there, a small dryer. Then we knocked the wall down and then put another manual out here, moved the dryer over a little bit. Then we brought everything downstairs, put the wall back up, knocked this wall down. It's building and taking down all the time. As you can see, we love skateboards. Adam's our assistant, that's her desk. Conference table, that's more of a catch-all than a conference table. So our screen tech area. These are actually pretty cool. So a lot of people ask what these giant things are. So Tim's father-in-law actually created these drying boxes. We've had these for about 7 years. And rather than leaving them out and getting them dusty and stuff like that, he created this thing from scratch.
Custom drying boxes.
Custom drying boxes that work on air vents in the back. It's like octopus arms that go in, they hit the front, the top, and the bottom. It's pretty cool. We usually use one for degrease screens and one for drying screens that have been burned.
I love it.
Storage in here. Nothing really cool to see in there. And that's pretty much it.
Hell yeah. How long you guys have been using Printavo? Because I know you guys are on that.
Printavo's been over 1.5 years now. So we had Printavo for about 2.5 years. We were paying for it and didn't use it for an entire year. Until he came in and said, "Hey, you really need to use Printavo."
It's a great Matt impression too. It's I was looking at my mirror right there. That was amazing.
So one thing I have to say is that it helped us out tremendously as far as organizing everything, which is obviously key when it comes to deadlines, print flow, everything like that. I mean, Printavo is great.
The process is like this. I get 1/4" or 1/2" birch and I screen print on them, cut them out. I usually paint them with stain and then I cover them with a coat of resin. It is very time consuming.
Yeah.
It is very awesome.
It's very awesome.
And I have sold a lot of them. I made 4 of these. 2 I sold in a Kurt Russell art show.
I went to that art show.
It was a very good art show.
Yeah.
1 I gave to a foundation called Open Books for a donation. Someone bought it.
Nice.
I have no idea who it was. And this is the final and last one that I have yet to paint because I don't know what I'm going to do with it.
Nice.
But it is 5 different Kurt Russells.
You're more than just a screen printer. You're actually an artist too.
Yeah, it is. Like that's the one thing with screen printing, like what we do every day is that, you know, Joe and I got into the business because we wanted to make our own stuff. We wanted to make our own t-shirts and have our own clothing line, which is like what everyone wants to do. And we got good at printing and then started printing everything for everyone else. I do custom stuff too. That's that one beaver. Wait till I get my vending machine going.
You want to talk about it?
Yeah, talk about that. What's your plan?
Okay, so listen, here's the plan for this. I hope you have enough film. So my employees bought me a vending machine because I've always been talking about a vending machine. So this thing has been a nightmare work in progress. And now I got it down to where I have everything, except for the balls that go inside of it. They're being delivered from China on the slowest boat ever. We're gonna have a TV or it allows me to like put a monitor up here with a what are those Raspberry Pi video players inside,
Right.
and put like just Predator on a loop but backwards. You know what I mean? Stuff like that.
Right.
Just weird shit. Or I can put any one of these wooden heads up here to kind of display it, whatever.
Right.
So in here are going to be just whatever random kind of like gachapon stupid shit I have. I have a bunch of like weird Lego guys. So I'm going to have friends of Stallone. So it's going to be all the people that I think would be friends with Sylvester Stallone. So we're talking like E.T., obviously Rocky, all the good guys and stuff like that. And then on the other side, it's going to be enemies of Stallone. And it's going to be like, Stripe, Clever Lang,
Right.
Voldemort, just weird, things, people that Stallone wouldn't like.
Right.
So I'm gonna have that on here with these LEDs and stuff. So that's it. Now, let's talk about printing. So this thing vends these tubes. So we found beef jerky that fits perfectly inside of here. We were gonna have fortunes. We were gonna, kind of like open it up and you're like, oh, and it's gonna be like, you're a pretty lady. Like, that dress looks great on you. Kind of thing like that, or things like...
With beef jerky.
Yeah, or like, maybe you should shave your beard today. Very specific fortunes.
I've always thought beef jerky should come with fortunes.
100%.
Yeah.
So, or we were gonna do limited edition screen prints. Like little itty bitty posters.
Little posters?
Little posters and put in here.
That's cool too.
Sell them for $1. These are gonna be $4 and this is gonna be $1. So you put $5 in, you get yourself a nice Stallone.
Friend or foe.
Friend or foe of Stallone. And maybe a screen print. Fortune.
Is Friend or Foe Stallone the name of it? Because it kind of sounds good.
Well, this thing was gonna be called Mega Base Zero.
Okay. I like that too.
All the other machines I'm going to get, because I know I'm going to get more after this.
Of course.
It's going to be like Monster Base 13.
Okay.
Or, Robot Base 12. And they're all going to be around. Now, you think you've seen it all. You haven't seen anything yet. I'm going to cover this thing with 3-inch possum fur.
Amazing.
Yeah, so that's the process right now.
Absolutely amazing.
Right. I'm just worried that, like, I don't know, people are going to rub peanut butter in it or something. I don't know. Right now, it's going to be an empty bottle when I get it done.
Awesome.
Yeah. So.
Super awesome.
Yeah. So that's the plan.
So by next summer, maybe in an empty bottle.
Well, it really is just waiting on. I have to find a supplier for the tubes, and I have to wait for the things to come in.
So besides making awesome screen prints, you do awesome stuff.
Dumb shit.
Awesome stuff is what I'll call it. I love it.